Go pit grass, and for the first time in Winter Street Stocks history, we're under green. Solomon gets turned in front of the field. He's gonna go back up onto the track. Oh, huge wreck already here in turn number one. Oh, we got a huge wreck. Keyshawn Richard makes contact. Ryan Benjamin, TS Media, Hoodwum, Matthew Hill, Random J. What a huge wreck here in the back straightaway. Jordan right behind the background with Hoodwum as he turns him. Hoodwum goes around in turn number 4. He continues to get a great run on that 17. He's gonna move up the track. Yes, he is. They're side by side for the lead. Oh, Johnny Hernandez gets turned into the wall. Oh, John Fredrickson, Richard Herman, Dan Mattiello. What a huge wreck here in the front straightaway involving several of your championship drivers. Trey Smith will get a second career Winter Street Stocks victory as Ryan Wilson's your first ever Winter Street Stocks champion. All eyes on Bowman Gray Stadium as we welcome you to race number 1 of the Holiday Winter Racing League. Baker still holding on, but into turn number 3, Keyshawn Richardson back to the lead here in the Madhouse Classic. This will be Atlanta Motorsports' 16th win. It'll come from Keyshawn Richardson here in the Madhouse Classic. So Jason Abbott, and Miles go around. Matthew Hill up in his omnific bear to the 3 up in the air. As here we go, green white checker, time number 1 here in the M&M's Classic. Coming to the line, Joe T will win the M&M's Classic. Here comes Rose and Cat Stevens for the win, but it's not going to be enough. Aiden Robertson wins the Massachusetts Classic. Hill gets involved. Hernandez on his roof. There's going to be a huge wreck. Aiden Robertson involved. And off turn 4, your Winter Street Stocks champion will see the checkered flag. Ryan Wilson wins the Kansas City Classic. As Keyshawn Richardson is your 2021-22 Holiday Winter Racing League champion. This is the return of winter racing and the return of the Madhouse Classic. What's going to happen here in this 3? There's a bump, the bump and run. He's going to force Madison up high. Alexander Fallon, his first channel start, wins the Madhouse Classic. We're already 5 wide going into turn number 1 of Gutierrez, Beal, and Forbes, basically right up against one another on the outside. As Matt Brunette will see the checkered flag and win the M&M's Classic. Out goes Brendan Beal hard into the wall. As Ruby Alliance teammates Kyle Sustry and Jose Angel also involved, as we're already back under caution. 1 lap to go here in the Massachusetts Classic, as Oaks to the inside is downward side by side for the lead into turn number 1. Congratulations to Alex Mullen and the Ruby Alliance area winners here for the 2024 Massachusetts Classic. Miles will make it 5 wide. That's not going to work. Round goes Caleb Rose in front of the rest of the field. Can he save it? Looks like he will. What a save by Caleb Rose in the 59. It'll be 3 wide to the line. Hill. Matthew Hill wins the M&M's Classic by just 2/100ths of a second. Oh, and the 3 is a great run from Miles. Look at the inside of Haas as we're side by side for the lead. This time by coming to the white flag here in Bowman Gray. To the checkered flag, it's Owen Miles who finally wins the Madhouse Classic. Zombie Brewers at the wall into the air alongside Kyle Sustry. Rose basically riding the wall in the ones with contracting Rose and Santa Vala. Albert still on the inside. And that's going to hand the win to Jason Albert as finally he will see the checkered flag and win the Massachusetts Classic here in Papyrus. Okay, so that was just a little quick video for the Farewell Winter. That was originally supposed to be with the final Triple Winter Challenge race. I didn't have it done on finish in time for that for the Massachusetts Classic, so I decided just a little better way, kind of fitting to show sort of that Farewell Winter video before we reveal our plans for the final Palm Summer League season, and it is going to start right here, right now. There we go. Welcome everybody to PSL Reveal 25. This was obviously, like with every series I do, this took quite a bit for me to make. Like this PSL stuff, this NR stuff is really time consuming. That's the main reason why I am making this my final Palm Summer League season, my final series in general. But we have a lot of exciting things to talk about here for the 2025 Palm Summer League. I'm really excited to finally share the details with y'all, because I really feel like this is going to be one of the best summer series seasons we've ever had for any of the summer series we've had over the past nearly half a decade. It's crazy up in your knees for nearly half a decade. But I hold my mic a little bit. Hope I'm not too loud. Hopefully the stream is all right. So without further ado, we're going to get everything started. I'm pretty sure to everyone watching this, thank you for watching right now. And if you're watching this
after the stream, after the fact, still, thank you for watching. So first, as per usual, if you've been in the channel before, we're going to do sort of the boring stuff out of the way. And that is the basic rules and info for the series. I say boring, but you know, it's at the same time kind of important. But if you're a regular on the channel, if you've been in at least one of my series before, you kind of know the expectations at this point. But I'll still reiterate for anyone new, or if anyone's case, in case if anyone forgot. So first, of course, the mod we'll be using will be the Muscle Car Weight model by the Bullring with Lefty's Next Gen 4 templates. I do have to find a new. I'll probably post a newer link to the mod if you're interested in downloading the mod, because ever since last year's Palm Summer League, Bullring has went down. There is an archive side of it up. It's actually a really cool archive, all NR 2003. It's actually a really cool archive. They also archived racing graphics, which shut down last year as well. And Lefty's Next Gen 4 templates, I'll also probably leave a link to those as well. I'm not sure if who's going to archive those, because there was obviously Stunauto was about to shut down, but they reversed that decision. But you know, nothing lasts forever, and I do want to find links to these original files, just because that's where the original stuff is from, and I have to give credit where credit is due. And also, if you're interested in painting, I haven't gotten to paint schemes yet. I've pinned the templates. It's a message from 2 years ago, but I've recently quoted the templates and in the PSL chat, and also in the pins as well, as like the very first thing, even in that PSL chat, and it's pinned in the Discord pins. Okay, anyways, 1 card per person, obviously. I mean, that should be kind of a given. Choose any number from 0 to 99. You can also do like 01, 02, 03, or the case may be, but it has to be 2 digits at most. And the car mix for the third year in a row will be Chevy, Ford, Dodge, Pontiac, and Toyota. Do the exact same body styles and templates from the previous year, so nothing much different there. I'm gonna drink water because I'm already. I woke up from a nap like. I wasn't in a video, but I just woke up from a nap like 10-20 minutes ago. So if I sound weird, I do apologize. Anyways, and also once signups are closed, they will be closed unless if a spot opens up, if someone voluntarily leaves, if someone gets kicked out, whatever the case may be. I haven't had to remove anyone from a series in like 2 years since the last Golf Summer Series. So I don't know if that's gonna happen. I'm not gonna jinx it, but we'll see. I don't think anyone's gonna get removed. Hopefully not. Anyways, you can use your real name or alias. So you can use your real legal name. You can use your alias online name they use for NR, like they use for an NR series, or you can use your username. It's up to you, just as long as it's somewhat appropriate, and also no impersonating real people or other people with your driver name. And teams will be allowed, and like with Triple Winner, where we had the alliances, we're going to have normal teams again. I'm going to have up to 4 teammates. Unlike NASCAR, which has recently limited the teams to 3 full-time teams, we're still going to have 4 full-time teammates. And also, I'll touch on the owner stuff towards the end of the stream, but you do not have to be a driver to be a PSL owner. In fact, I put this on the Discord events. Anyone who wants to be just strictly an owner, not a driver, is strongly encouraged. If you just want to be an owner for the series, or if you miss driver signups and still want to participate in the series and just want to be an owner, we're very much encouraging people who just want to be owners in the PSL, because for the most part of our series has been owner drivers historically in the past. Now, here's just a quick look at the templates. If you've been in PSL before, you're already familiar with these body styles. But in case you're new here, welcome. These will be the body styles we'll be using. So this is the Chevy Camaro, the Ford Mustang. I haven't had that many Fords. The most popular body style by far, the Charger. The last 2 years, the Charger has been the most popular body style and has won the last 2 championships. So there's that. Toyota, which came very close last year. And also Ford came close last year with Spurley. Toyota came close last year with Bubble. And of course, the Pontiac Trans Am. This one has always had the least amount of people sign up. So if you think about choosing a manufacturer because not many people or want to be a team owner want to choose a manufacturer, and you think of I want to choose the manufacturer that not many people are going to choose, the 2 ones to keep in mind is Pontiac and Ford. Toyota's still in the middle. We had more Toyotas last year than we did in 2023, and Chevy and Dodge are the most dominant, or the most common manufacturers here in the Palm Summer League. As for more basic info, of course, up to 1 paint scheme. I know I said schemes, and I still haven't fixed that, and that's weird. But anyways, up to 1 paint scheme per person, and 2 sponsors. Up to 1 paint scheme and 2 sponsors per person. And there's also a special scheme optional for race number 4. I think you already know what that race is. I don't know why I said it like that, but I think everyone knows at this point what race number 4 will be. If I say special paint scheme, I'll get to that with the schedule here soon. Be present for at least 1 premiere and or leave a comment in 1 race. I'm not one of those series that, this is not one of those series that, like, okay, if you don't participate, I'm going to remove you. No. I mean, everyone has lives. Like, I have a life outside of this. You probably, all of us have lives outside of this NR stuff. And I get, it's busy. It's busy. And that's why that's why Triple Winter took longer than it did. And that's why, like, this stream was supposed to be last week, but things happened and I had to delay this to this week. But the point is, we all have lives outside of this stuff. I'm not gonna, like, really pressure everyone to watch every race, watch every stream, because yeah, everyone has lives outside of it. But it'd be nice to at least watch at least one of them. Doesn't matter which one, and leave a comment. In some of them. That's just, you know, a little thing. I don't know. I think I went on for that too long. But anyways, the base AI difficulty is tentatively set to 103. The reason why I use the word tentatively is because that's going to be the standard I use. That's the typical 103 is the, you know, the typical one as my setting by default in the game. But sometimes when I do sim these races, I do come across times where the AI either just the racing is boring or they just wreck a lot. And one of the ways to make the racing better is by turning on the AI difficulty a little bit. I've had some good races with lower AI difficulty, and there's some tracks that just straight up don't work with a higher AI difficulty. So right now the current level is set to 103, but if I do have to lower it for a race, I will tell everyone. I will let everyone know in the news and announcements tab in the PSL channel on my server. Now, of course, this is also very important. I highlighted underlined this. Please respect painters and be patient for your car. We haven't had a problem with this in our series, but I've been in series in the past where people are like, oh, what's my paint scheme? What's my paint scheme? What's my paint scheme? Like I mentioned for the few points earlier, to be present for at least 1 premiere stuff. Again, all of us have lives outside of this. Like I'm gonna be a painter. I know some other. I'm not sure if any of the painters are watching the live stream right now, but they can probably tell you. You know, painting these schemes takes time, especially like this many cars we're gonna be having. We're gonna have an expanded field. So please be patient for your car. We have plenty of time. And there's February, March, April, May. So there's 4 months for us to paint. 4 months for these cars to get finished. I'm hoping we won't have a Triple Winter situation again. But your car is gonna get made no matter what. I can guarantee you. Except the only time this never happened was the Darlington throwbacks from a few years ago. But that was different circumstance. But I guarantee you these cars will get made before the season starts. And also too, you can use your races and your own like edits or videos, but be sure to credit me. I don't know if anyone's used my videos and edits or before, but if you want to use my videos for like your own countdowns or edits or whatever the case may be, feel free. So just be sure to credit me and leave a link to the original video or videos in the description or somewhere. Now, if you're a returning driver, you can reuse your previous, either last year's scheme or 2023 scheme. It's up to you. I did do a poll, if you remember in the Discord, how many people were going to be reusing their scheme. I think 20 people answered, about half the people, and it was half and half. So we're going to have a lot. It's up to you. If you want to have a brand new scheme, that's fine. If you want to reuse your scheme, for either as your main PSL scheme or reuse your Firecracker scheme, that's fine. That's totally fine. It's up to you. And also, even though this has been a standard for the channel since HWRL, I feel like I mentioned it here. Double file restarts. We're going to have double file restarts in the PSL, and we're going to have 3 attempts at a green, white, checkered finish. The only time we've ever had to exceed that attempt was the golf finale. But yeah, double file restarts with the better cautions. Double file restarts and a green, white, checkered finish via the better cautions EXE. And also, that better cautions EXE does disable like random collisions under caution and on pit road as well, and aligns the lap cars. And also with that better cautions EXE, the lap cars be lined up in the back of the pack as opposed to the front of the pack, like it is in the game standard, like it is standard on the game, I should say. This is the last basic info stream. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have a bunch of. Thank God there's 1 liter water bottle next to me. Okay. So basic info, the last basic info slide. The points format will be the exact same we've used for the past half decade at this point. The 2011 to 2015 Xfinity / truck points, and those don't have any chase or playoffs or anything like that. We don't do playoffs here, especially after last year's Cup Series championship. Jesus Christ. Anyways, and also the new max driver count for this year will be 37 drivers. So two more. So it kind of continues a pattern from the last 2 years. 2023 had 33 drivers. Last year had 35. This year is 37. I was honestly going to try doing 40, but after, again, the whole triple winner situation, I really want to avoid another triple winner situation where I don't have to delay the whole start of the season because not all the schemes are done yet. So 37 drivers I think is a good, like, in-between point, especially with I don't know how many, with the number being uncertain how many people are going to reuse their scheme. Sorry. Anyways, and also, I mentioned this last week, but random ratings will be back. They're returning from triple winner. They will be a little bit different. I will explain them towards the end of the stream. But random ratings are back. So there'll be there'll be different driver ratings and everything. And of course, drivers are required to join the official Discord server. I linked it already in the chat and also in the description. That's the official server and that's where you can request a scheme, chat along with other drivers, owners, etc. Also get signed to teams and everything like that, and get updates on whenever a race has to get delayed or wherever the case may be. I do that just because I want to make sure this person, like, I do that to make sure everyone gets I can communicate with people if they need a scheme or I need to do something with their scheme or to help out with teams or whatnot. Because I'm pretty sure YouTube got rid of the DM feature a while back. And finally, too, for the basic info, I briefly touched on this earlier, you can be removed, /fined, or suspended if the rules are broken. Again, we haven't had anyone get removed from a series since like 2 years ago, so I don't think this should be a problem. I hadn't had to remove anyone in PSL so far, which is good, and I don't think that's gonna be a problem. And hopefully, that will stay that way for this final season. Okay, now for the fun part. Now we got the boring stuff out of the way. I think I maybe explained that for a little too long, but I just want to make sure it's all clear for everybody. We go to the fun part. The schedule. This is probably the fun part. This is the fun part of the stream. So, what is new for the 2025 Palm Summer League this year? Well, we're going to have 3 brand new tracks we've never raced out on the channel before, and 2 returning tracks from years past. Very, very exciting stuff, and I'm really excited to show you these tracks. And it all begins, of course, with the summer kickoff for race number 1. Now, before I get a few things going, number 1, as you can see, this is an envelope. I guess an envelope I made on PowerPoint. Yes, I use PowerPoint to do these reveals. So every race this year we have will come in this envelope, and PSO officials decided to put these in envelopes because we want to keep these races a surprise. So each race will have their own little letter. I open up, kind of like the Oscars or something like that. But so for race number 1, this is very special. Of course, this is the summer kickoff, and of course race number 1 is going to mark the beginning of our final and our series on the channel. And what better way to kick it all off than the place that started it all? And I have a special video to showcase what track that is. Welcome to a beautiful night here on opening night. And what better place to kick off the season than the place that started it all?
As the wait, the anticipation, the excitement is finally over as the field comes towards a travelable green flag.
Wow, what a move! Here he comes on the inside. We're side by side for the lead. This time by coming to the white flag.
Side by side coming to the line. This is going to be a photo finish. Here they come to the checkered flag. Oh my goodness. Who's going to lead? Coming to the line. Oh my God.
Unreal. Couldn't describe that any better.
Armory Digital is back. The site of our most popular race on the channel and two of the closest finishes in channel history back in the Golf Summer Series days will be back to kick off the final Palm Summer League season. And here's And here's an example of what's underneath that envelope. I've designed postcards sort of things to represent each race and everything. These took quite a while to make, but I think they all turned out pretty good. So this is the postcard for Armory Digital, of course, in Seattle. This will, as I mentioned, this will kick off the final Palm Summer League season for the Pepsi Summer Kickoff. And it is actually a newer version of Armory Digital. Since the last time we've used Armory Digital, there is a new version that's out, the 2023 edition, and it will be a night race just like in the old Golf Summer Series days. And I think it's kind of hard to notice in this image here, its particular image of the track, but in that reveal video, I did some of the videos were from the new version of Armory Digital, and we notice the surface is a little bit more grayed out than it was before, and there's obviously also some logo changes as well. But besides that, of course, Armory Digital, 2.6 mile long super speedway, 28 laps, and I'll be on May 26th, Memorial Day itself, at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thankfully, unlike last year, I don't have to record this race a whole week early because I'm not going anywhere from Memorial Day. I'm not going, like last year, of course, I had to go to Charlotte and have to do everything a week early. But here, I don't have to worry about that, which is great. Well, not great, the fact that I like Charlotte. It was amazing, except for that ending. But yeah, I'm going to have this race. It's going to be standard, like, regular schedule that I have when it comes to making this race. And I'm really excited for Armory Digital to come back. I mean, no disrespect to the other open summer kickoff tracks. Those were good tracks at Coca-Cola, Tennessee last year. Got a lot of views, but Armory Digital is a track that means a lot to this channel. It's the place where it all started. It's the place of our most popular race. 2 of the closest finishes in the channel happen here at Armory Digital. And what better way to kick off the final Palm Summer League season and the final points and the final NR series on this channel than the place that started it all. All right. With race number 1 out of the way, we go to race number 2. We've had some. This is a track that's been on my radar for a while, and this is actually a track that exists in real life as well. And we're gonna go to the land of the rising sun. We're gonna go to Japan for the Mobility Resort Motegi, or better known as Twin Ring Motegi, for the UPS summer special. This will be the second international race in the Palm Summer League. Of course, last year was Paris around the Olympics, and this is our what besides the 2023 season, we've had at least one international race every single summer. In 2020, we had, and in golf, we had at least one Canadian race every year. We raced in the Middle East also in the first Golf Summer Series at Abu Dhabi, and also in Mexico City for the 2021 Golf Summer Series as well. So this will also, but we've had, besides those past international races, this will be the first time we're going to race in Asia. And this will be, and of course, Motegi is a 1.5 mile long, sort of flat mile. It's a flat mile long. It's a flat track. Oh, I forgot to show. Oh, I forgot. I also had track review videos as well. Why did I forget to show that? Dang it. I'll show both Armory Digital and Motegi for this too, because I forgot to show Armory Digitals. But you'll see in the review video that Motegi is a more flat 1.5 mile track. We're going to go 40 laps, and this will be on June 7th. Now, since I'm a moron and I forgot to show the track reveals, I'm going to show Armory Digital and Motegi back to back. Oh, there we go. Now, briefly touch on Armory Digital again. You saw there the surface was a bit more grayed out than we raced and was in the past. That's the new 2023 version. But on the Motegi, because this is the track we're on, you can see the banking was only 10 degrees. So this is a pretty flat track, all things considered. It's almost similar to how how Las Vegas and Miami, and not really Miami, but Las Vegas used to be kind of like a flatter track. But 10 degrees of banking, pretty not really that steep, especially for a stock car. And the speeds here aren't that fast. Or 180. The most you go is 180 on the straightaway just for the turns. Just for I think turn 3. And also too, if you know Motegi's layout, it's has a shape very similar to Darlington and Gateway, where it has kind of an egg shape, but obviously this track is very different than both of those two tracks. But yeah, Twin Ring Motegi in Japan will be race number 2 for the UPS Summer Special. All right, race number 3. This is, I'll say that right now, it's not a brand new track, but it is the first time this track will be in this particular time slot, just in general, because we've raced this track the last 2 years in the Palm Summer League as well as the last year in the Golf Summer Series, and it's a fan favorite track. It is none other than the Minnesota Motorsports Park. This was, of course, the finale the first 2 PSL seasons, but this time around it will be on Father's Day for the John Deere Father's Day Classic. Just like with but despite that, it will still be 60 laps, still the same mile-long track as we all know. It'll be on June 15th, barring any delays, unlike last year's Father's Day Classic. Honestly, I was considering other mile-long tracks, but it's really rare to find a track like Minnesota where the racing is just really, really good. Like, most of these mile-long tracks have kind of like, are sort of spread out single file, which I don't necessarily hate spread out single file racing, but I think for the nature of the Palm Summer League, where it's a shorter series, I think it's necessary to have more races like Minnesota that are really close on edge, if you know what I mean. But yeah, Minnesota will return once again to the Palm Summer League schedule for race number 3 this time around for the Father's Day Classic on June 15th. I don't have a track preview for that because we raced at Minnesota the last 3 summer series, so I don't think it's really needed to have a track preview. Speaking of not really having a track preview, race number 4. This is, of course, the summer's biggest race, the Firecracker 400 from Daytona. As per usual, this will be on 4th of July, 2.5 mile long super speedway, 42 laps. And of course, as I mentioned, if you want a special scheme, rather if it's patriotic or just another special scheme for the race, that will also be allowed for the Firecracker 400. I will also touch on Firecracker Week a little bit later, but I will say right now, I did mention a little bit in the chat that Firecracker Week will be shorter, will be more condensed this year due to the Atlanta race weekend probably biting into much of Firecracker Week. And I plan to stay for extending the Cup for the Atlanta weekend as well. So, yeah, but the Firecracker 400, the Firecracker 400 was the most viewed race from last year, and probably one of my favorite races ever on the channel. I mean, also, not to mention as well, the closest finish in channel history, 1/1000th of a second. I don't know if we're ever going to see a finish like that close again, but it's still the Firecracker 400. It's still the summer's biggest race. This is a must-watch every year on the channel. I can guarantee you. And I think 2025, for likely the final edition of the Firecracker 400, will be no different. All right, race number 5. We're going back to the trend of new tracks we've never raced at before. This is a track I've been wanting to race at for a long time. This is an NR track I've been wanting to race at for a long time. The racing here is great, but I've just never found a place for it on the schedule until now. And I'm really, really excited to say that race number 5 for the Palm Summer League this year will be at the Vermont International Speedway. This is a very unique track in the NR scene. This is a unique fantasy track. This will be for the Recess Hot Ring Rumble. I might rebrand it to a different sponsor. I don't know. But Vermont is a 1.4 mile long sort of, it's I guess intermediate, but it is an intermediate, but it's not your typical intermediate like a Las Vegas or Chicago. And I'll show you the video and in the video will explain what I mean by that right now. So you saw there, Vermont, the banking is unknown. Just because most sources I can find do not list Vermont's banking. It's not listed on the NR track itself. It's not listed on websites that have used Vermont as a fantasy track in the past. And the original places, the original site this track was put on for download was Sim Racing Design, which was shut down years ago. I don't know if anyone has an archive of that original Vermont thread, but besides the point, this is a really unique intermediate track for sure. It's similar to Motegi, where the speeds are slower, but it still has higher banking like an Atlanta or Charlotte. But I'm really excited to use Vermont. This is a track that's been on my radar for a while now, and this will be race number 5 for the Hot Ring Rumble on July 20th. But essentially, Hot Ring Rumble and UPS Summer Special have swapped dates this year. Of course, remember, UPS Summer Special last year was around the late July time slot because of the Olympics, but it swapped with... And the Hot Wing Rumble was the second race, but those two time slots, those two dates have swapped. Of course, okay. Oh well, yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to use Vermont. Oh, the AI is gonna wreck a lot, and also I always do. And for the record, I work with this track. If I do a race with the AI, just wrecks a lot. I always try to tune down the I and stuff. So I'm gonna try my best to make sure the AI does not wreck, because yeah, I do agree with you, Alpha, that it does. I have experiences where yeah, the AI does like to wreck. Use your own like lap 3 or 4, at least in my test. But I'm gonna try my best to make sure that the AI won't wreck like every 5 laps, because no one wants that. Because the racing here is generally really good. I've had some generally good races at Vermont in the past. All right, race 6. I will say this is not the final race of the year. This is actually the second to last race of the year. We're gonna have one new race we're gonna have 7 races this year for the Palm Summer League. But for the semifinale this year, at race number 6, this was one of the last things I had to finalize for the schedule. I had to narrow it down to a few tracks for race number 6, and also I had to convince myself, okay, I gotta add one more race so I can add some of these tracks. Because, for example, Vermont is a track I've been wanting to do, and this is my last opportunity to do a series, and that was my last opportunity. I was like, you know what, might as well add Vermont, because the last chance I'll get to race Vermont in a series. So we're going to have 7 races, but regardless, the semi-finale for the 2025 Palm Summer League will be at the track type, will be at the most popular track type. Will be a new twist on the most popular track type in the channel. We're going to race at the Progressive Speedway in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been wondering, what the hell is this track? Well, I do have a video, like the other new tracks, to show you exactly what this track is. So the Progressive Speedway, almost kind of hints by the name, is a super speed. I didn't say super speedway, but progressive. But the progressive name is kind of fitting because the progressive sponsorship, I should say, is very fitting, because you saw there in the video, as progressive banking in the turns. Probably this is like the only super speedway that I know of, at least in the NR game, that has progressive banking. And of course, super speedways are by far our most popular track category. Those always get the best views. And I did a poll the other week: what's your favorite track type here on the channel? And super speedways won. And also, of course, this marks the first time in PSL history we're going to have more than 2 super speedways. We've always had the summer opener and the firecracker, but this will mark the first time we've had, and only time, we're going to have 3 super speedways, and they're all on very crucial dates as well. We're going to have one for to kick off the season, one for the 4th of July, or if you're on the halfway point of the year, and one as the second to last race of the season. But Progressive is an oval. In the video, is a straight up oval. Similar, it's not, well, M&M's and Coca-Cola were more like a Martinsville paperclip sized like type oval. This is more like a Miami style oval where it's like it's appear like more of a balanced or the turn or have wider turns and whatnot. And ironically, like Miami is also progressively banked. But yeah, it's a 2.5 mile long super speedway. We're gonna go 30 laps. The race name I still need to determine. I might do something fun with that, like a name the race contest or something like that. And this will be on August 9th, as again the second to last race in Palm Summer Week history. Now we're saving the best for last. Race number 7 of the Palm Summer Week for 2025, and the final likely the final NR points race on this channel. This is probably going to be the most important. I always say the Firecracker is the biggest one, and the Armory Digital, in case of this year for the summer kickoff, that's always another important one. All the races are important for me to edit, but for me to make and everything. But this will be by far probably the most important race I'll ever have to make, just because it is the final race on the channel. And what better place to have the final race on the channel than my home track, Atlanta Motor Speedway. And it is the version we've used in the Golf Summer Series in years past. The 2010 day to night version. I didn't use the 2022 version. I didn't really use any newer 2022 versions because those don't race that well at all. With the plates on, they either race really slow, or if I take the plates off, they wreck a lot. So, but even though we've raced at this particular version of Atlanta before, I figured I'd also make a video showing the Palm Summer Week car for the first time here in the Atlanta Motor, for points in the Atlanta Motor Speedway day to night version. So if you remember Atlanta from the Golf Summer Series, or even the previous PSL preseason Thunder sessions, you know Atlanta is one of the fastest tracks, fastest mile and a half out there. Of course, 1.5 course mile and a half long, 24 degrees of banking, and this is gonna be a longer race too. This is probably gonna be the longest race I'm ever gonna make on the channel if you add in, because this race by itself is 75 laps. If you remember back in the golf days, Atlanta was always one of the longer races. But this race will be long just by itself, but also adding in like sort of like special video, special stuff, because this is the final race. This is probably gonna be the longest race on the channel. I could easily see this being like an hour, easily being over an hour long, maybe like even an hour 10, even hour 20. It just depends. And I'm hoping it won't get delayed. Fingers crossed this won't get delayed. Right now it's currently set for August 25th. That's on a Monday. The reason why I was going to do it on the 24th, but that's also the same weekend the Daytona Summer Race is on, and that race is notorious for rain delays. And just in case that race decides to get rain delayed to Sunday, I still have insurance. Okay, I don't have to delay this big grand finale race, and that'll be the title of this race, the grand finale. And I think it is fitting that I'm using this day to night version of Atlanta, because not only it looks beautiful, this is one of my favorite tracks to use in NR, because the day to night transition is amazing even after 15 years. But it is kind of fitting because it is riding the sunset for the final NR race we're ever going to have, the final NR points paying race we're ever going to have on the channel. Now, random ratings. I mentioned earlier that they are going to be returning from triple winter, but they're going to be a little bit different this time, since it is, of course, the Palm Summer League. Going to have it's a longer season, longer schedule, whatnot. So we're going to have actually 2 sections of random ratings for this Palm Summer League season, starting off with driver ratings. So if you remember in triple winter, each driver had 6? No, 7. It was 7, I think. It was 6 or 7, I forgot. But this time around for Palm Summer League, we're going to have 9 driver ratings. Each driver's going to have 9 rating points to use, and the minimum driver ratings will start at 90. So theoretically, the max any particular category can be up to 99. And here are the categories to use for the random ratings. They're going to be a little bit different just because of the track types we're going to be using in PSL. So the 4 ones that are returning from triple winner are aggression, consistency, finishing, and qualifying. Those are the stock rate. Those are returning from PSL, or from triple winner, I should say. But as for the other 2, we're gonna have Speedway. This was not in triple winner because we didn't have any intermediate tracks, and of course the speedways for this summer is Motegi, Minnesota, Vermont, and Atlanta, and of course super speedways for Armory Digital, Daytona, and Progressive. And vehicle ratings will be set to 95 for all drivers. So driver ratings will be customizable. Vehicle ratings will remain the same at 95. Admittedly, I originally wanted to do team ratings for the vehicle, like vehicle team ratings, but it would affect simming the races on time. My goal is to at least know maybe a little, is to know, like, get some of these races simmed before May, like, well ahead of time. Like, for example, Las Vegas last year, I actually simmed that race in, like, April. I just want to get it out of the way, and also the whole Charlotte stuff. And I kind of want to get these races simmed as far ahead as I possibly can, just because I want to avoid delays as much as I possibly can with this final season. And of course, just like in triple winner, every driver will have a chance to do respective ratings in the respective categories they choose in the driver sign-up form, which I will explore towards the end of this stream. Now, as for the second category of random ratings, we're going to have pit crew ratings, so you can change how good your pit crew is. So this one is going to be, so for this category, there'll be 5 rating points you can use on your pit crew. And the minimum ratings will be set at 93. And the 3 categories to use for your pit crew is consistency, speed, and strategy. So consistency is basically like, okay, how consistent your pit crew is of not, screwing up. Speed is how fast, which I think consistency can be best. I think consistency is probably the safest one to use on, but I think for super speedways where, even if you restart like 20th, you can still win the race with like 3 laps to go. So, but consistency is, okay, maybe not like taking that long on pit stops and, keeping a consistent, maintaining position, I would assume. I'm not expert on rings. There's probably better, there's people probably explain better rings than I can, but there's a general idea. Speed, of course, is how fast your crew is. And strategy is if you're willing to gamble for certain types of races, which could come and play in like a Motegi or in Atlanta, a longer race as well. And here's just the rating screenshot I did just to kind of give a better visual in what it looks like. And speaking of, one more thing too. So as an example here, okay, driver can, as for example, in case you're still confused, if a driver can use 3 points for speed and a driver uses 3 points for speed, 2 points for strategy, that means the minimum maximum for the speed will be at 96, but the minimum and maximum for strategy will be set at 95. And to further explain it, here's the graphic I will post. That's on the I'll post on the Discord. It's also on the sign up form, which we'll show here soon. So the stuff in purple will be the driver rings that will be affected. The driver rings will be one of the categories for random ratings, except for road course and short tracks, because there's no road course or short tracks in the Palm Summer League. And everything that isn't crossed out will be affected by random ratings. The tan will not be affected by random ratings. The vehicle ratings, as I mentioned, will be the exact same, 95 overall for all drivers. In the pit crew is the new category for this summer, or just for random ratings. That will be a 5-point max. And for drivers, as previously mentioned, that'll be a 9-point max as well. And just another example as well. If a driver uses 6 points for finishing, for the driver ratings, if a driver decides to use 6 of their driver points on finishing and 3 of the driver points for aggression, that means the finishing we set to 96, while the aggression we set to 93. And again, it's totally up to you what you want to use the categories on. You can play it safe by adding just a few categories per. Adding points to each category, or putting eggs all in one basket. It's totally up to you. That's the fun part about ratings. Now, since there's odd number ratings for both pit crew and the drivers, I'm also going to highlight each driver's highest rating categories once the signups are completed. So each driver's highest rating categories for both the pits and the drivers, for both driver categories and pit categories, will be listed next to the driver name. this would be cool. This would be cool if you're a team owner and want to look for a driver. Okay, do I want a driver who's good at super speedways? Do I want a driver who's good, who's like more aggressive, who's more, or someone who's more committed to just finishing the race on time and whatnot? Finishing the race on time, or finishing the race in one piece, I should say, is going to add a unique spin to free agency and teams this year. As mentioned earlier, each team can have up to 4 drivers. Driver signings need to be mutual, so you can't just sign a driver out of nowhere. You have to communicate with the driver you want to sign, saying, hey, you want to drive for my team? Sure, I'll drive for your team. And then at that point, you can make it official or whatnot. Each owner also has to fill out the team sign up form. I will show that over here very shortly. And every owner has to fill out this form, even if you're a team even if you want to be on a team by yourself. I just want to make sure I get all the teams listed. And that sign up form helps me kind of organize everything and whatnot. And as previously mentioned earlier, if you're not a PSL driver or don't want to be a PSL driver, you can still be a PSL owner. You can still strictly just be a PSL owner instead of just being an owner driver. You can strictly just be a PSL owner. In fact, as mentioned earlier, I strongly encourage people who just want to be team owners, strictly team owners, to sign up in the owner form. And as for the deadline for both the team form and free agency, is going to be May 14th. There's also the same time for paint scheme deadlines as well. And if there's still drivers without a team after this date, I'll randomly create the teams. I've done that before where, okay, there's still drivers aren't with a team, so I just create random team. I don't randomly sign into teams, but I just create like 1-2 car teams with that driver in it. So if you want to be in a team, if you want to be on a team and be with an owner who prioritizes your highest categories, be sure to complete the sign-up form and be sure to contact owners and stuff like that before the May 14th deadline. Now, as for Firecracker League, I briefly did touch on this a little bit. This is going to be a more condensed Firecracker League this year just because much of Firecracker League, like traditional length period for Firecracker League, does overlap with the Atlanta summer race weekend in real life. I'm going to be lodging for that one, so I won't be able to do really much PSL stuff during that time period. And yeah, so it's going to be a more shorter Firecracker League, but I'll still at least try to do 2 practice streams. I haven't had much planned for Firecracker League as right now. It's still pretty early. But the duels, Fast 6, and the showdown are all to be determined, just because again it's going to be a more condensed period for me to make these races, for me to make Firecracker related stuff. And the paint scheme deadline will be June 24th. I believe that's on a Wednesday. So I believe June 24th is on a Wednesday. I'm going to need to find out when May 14th is as well. But June 24th is the deadline for any potential Daytona schemes. Just double check if that's on a Wednesday or not. No, it's on a Tuesday. So that's on a Tuesday. And the May 14th, hard deadline, that's on a Wednesday. And also I'm exploring the idea of, all-star entries. Potentially, invitational spots for the Firecracker 400. That's still just a thought. Just a train for thought. Kind of how, there's, people outside, in real life in NASCAR, there's people outside of NASCAR competing in, the bigger races. That's kind of what I want to do for this race. That's what I kind of want to do for the Firecracker 400. Alright, as for important dates, races will be pre-recorded, of course, and premiere on this channel as per usual. That's been the case for the last half decade. The races will be premiered usually at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, barring any sudden time changes or whatever. And at least this year, I don't have to fight with real life NASCAR schedule or have to have a earlier start time, or what I just did for Massachusetts Classic, where I have to do an earlier start time because of the College National Championship or whatnot. So every race, at least for the time being, will be 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I already mentioned the dates for both the driver signups and everything like that. Driver signups will be this coming Saturday at February 8th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully nothing silly happens like last year. Hopefully I actually post the freaking sign-up form at 3:30. Or around, at least near 3, or it's at 3:31 or something, I don't know. The team signups will be on Sunday, the following day, Sunday, February 9th, the same day as the Super Bowl, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that will be open, of course, until May 14th, or once all the drivers are assigned the teams. And as for our past champions, the form will be DM'd to all of y'all on February 5th. That'll be on a Wednesday. I'm going to look at my calendar again, make sure it is on a Wednesday. Yeah, it's on a Wednesday. So this Wednesday, if you're a past champion, stay tuned for the sign-up form on your Discord DMs. And I'll just list the drivers eligible for the reserve. The golf champions, Calvin Baker, Hoodlum, and Ryan. Also, Ryan's the Winter Street Sox champion. X-Man or Keyshawn Richardson, he's the HWL champion. And the 2 Palm Summer League champions, Brendan Beal and Jordan Forbes, are the eligible drivers for the past champions reserve. Of course, I mentioned the scheme deadline, May 14th is on a Wednesday. The Daytona scheme deadline, June 24th, that's on a Tuesday. And of course, the season opener is on May 26th, Memorial Day, at Armory Digital. It's cool saying Armory Digital season opener again, like back in the old golf days. And also the car set for the 2025 2025 PSL. I always keep doing that. 2025 PSL car set will be on August 25th, same day as the finale. Now here is where I'm going to explore both the driver and team forms. There we go. That was actually seamless. I thought that was actually pretty seamless transition there. I thought this was on my other screen, but it's on the main screen. Anyways, so here's the sign up form. This is the banner. Similar stuff to the reveal with the cars driving around and whatnot. So there's gonna be 3 sections. So there's gonna be kind of a long sign up form, all things considered. So usually these sign up forms historically have taken maybe a minute at most to complete, but now this is gonna take some time. So if you're someone who likes to rush through the signups, which I don't blame you, just feel free to kind of pay attention closely to this. So, section 1 is general driver information. So it's just your general stuff: who you want your driver name to be, how to pronounce your name, what's your pronouns, Discord name, your YouTube name. That's optional. Are you in the server? Yes or no? Is this your first PSL season? If yes, welcome. You'll compete for the Rookie of the Year honors. The car makes: Chevy, Ford, Dodge, Toyota, and Pontiac. With the images there. Your top 3 choices for car numbers. I'll pick whichever one is open first. Also 00, 01, 02 are all allowed. Just making sure it's just 2 digits. Your 2 sponsors. You can only have 1 if you want. What do you want your regular scheme to look like? If it's based off something, upload a picture. And if you're planning to reuse your scheme from last year, feel free to state here. You want a patriotic or not, or a special scheme or not? Yes or no. If yes, put your answer here. Or if you said no to that, just say no. I select a no for that section, for that particular question. So that's section 1. Oh, okay. I have to go through these. I'll just randomly type all this. I guess the problem, doing required stuff. There's a bunch of required questions. Okay, just next. Okay, so section 2 is part 1 of random ratings, the driver section of it. So it is the same graphic from before. First point, second point. You can award your first point, second point, third point, fourth point, your 5th point, and so on and so forth. Again, you can choose how many categories. If you want to put all your eggs in one basket, that's fine. If you want to spread the wealth out a little bit, you can. It's totally up to you on what you do with your ratings. And finally, as for the pit ratings, similar situation here. First point. There's 5. I only added 3. I need to do that, but there'll be 5 pit crew rating questions here. I don't know why I only put 3, but there'll be 5 on the final form. I'll probably add that after this. And this is optional if you want other ideas. What are some ideas would you like to see included in the races series this year, like potential ideas during the races, like during the broadcast, or the case may be, or just other simple stuff you want to add, other kind of stuff you want to see in the series. Keep it kind of realistic because this is the final year. I'm only one person. I'm only one person making I put that as a required question. I need to change that. Then cloud this form. It's not out in the public yet because this form ain't ready yet. But yeah, if you want any ideas for me to do in the series and whatnot, put that here. So that's the driver form. The team form is pretty similar. The team form is pretty similar to previous years. It's much shorter than the driver form. I'll tell you that right now. So Discord name, are you in the server? What's the team owner's name? What do you want the team name to be? Who are your teammates up to 4? The car numbers, the manufacturer. Also be sure to sign when you sign your teammates. Be sure to the exact same manufacturer you intend to sign. I don't want to have, this ain't Rick Rare Racing. I don't want to have like a team with like 2 Dodges and like 1 Pontiac. That'd be weird. I don't want that. And this is a new question, and these are 2 new questions for the new random ratings. If you're open to signing new drivers, what type of driver rating category do you want to prioritize the most? If you're open to signing new drivers, what pit crew rating do you prioritize the most? And this kind of gives an idea. And the reason why I added these is if a driver's looking for a team and they're trying to narrow down their options and want to see, oh, this team prioritizes aggression, or this team prioritizes super speedway racing, I want to join them. And likewise with the pit crew, oh, this team prioritizes like consistency and strategy. I want to join them. It kind of gives each team like, a little bit, it allows the teams to separate each other from one another instead of just being glorified alliances like it's been in previous seasons. I just want to give I just want to, and that's the cool part of these random ratings. It gives each person their own character as opposed to just being the exact same thing over and over again. And I'll leave here because I'm filling out the form. I need to fix that the pit crew part. I don't know why I only put 3. I need to add 2 more pit crew ratings for that part. But other than that, that's basically what the forums are going to look like this year. Again, the driver one is long, so be aware of that. Be sure to read too. Don't just like speed. And be sure to kind of closely read, because these ratings you can't change. Once you put these ratings in, you can't change them. And I do that just because I want to get all these races as soon as done, because I do plan to record these races ahead of time, or sim these races ahead of time. And just kind of quick rundown in the schedule again. Of course, Armory Digital kicks off the season, then followed by Twin Wing Motegi, Minnesota, Daytona for the Motegi for UPS Summer Special, only international race. That's going to be, of course, our international race this year. Minnesota for the Father's Day Classic, Daytona for the Firecracker 400, Vermont for the Hot Ring Rumble, Progressive for the second to last race, and Atlanta for the final NR points race. Of course, all these dates and times are subject to change. Let me take a screenshot of this. There we go, screenshot of that. Of course, all dates and times listed here. I don't know why I put Minnesota I don't know why I put question mark for Minnesota, but that's going to be at 8 o'clock. I think I put question mark there because I wasn't sure when the Mexico City race was going to take place, because I know that's on Father's Day. But Minnesota will be at 8 o'clock right now, as of right now. So I need to fix that. So that screenshot was where first. God dang it. But Minnesota, all these races will be at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, barring any delays or date changes or anything like that. So that's the schedule. And as for preseason Thunder, that's of course going to be returning once again this year. There's going to be 3 preseason Thunder sessions this year, and each of them will be 35 minutes long. And we're going to have 2 new preseason Thunder tracks for this year. And we're going to start off the preseason Thunder at one of these new tracks, the Kentucky Speedway. Yeah, everyone's favorite mile and a half track. The Kentucky Speedway, this will be at dusk, meaning like, okay, the lights and everything will be on at the track, but it won't be fully like dark. And it's supposed to emulate Atlanta's day to night, and also is a similar length to Motegi and Vermont. That'll be on May 11th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll be our first testing session, preseason Thunder session, I should say. Our second one will be at the familiar Talladega Super Speedway. I want to keep at least one consistent track for preseason Thunder. In Talladega, we've done preseason Thunder at the last 2 years. I will say the same. That'll be on May 16th at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And finally, the final preseason Thunder session will be at the Phoenix Raceway at night at May 19th at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is going to be a very late one. I like doing, sometimes I like doing I know it's kind of late, obviously 10 o'clock. There's probably going to be people in other time zones that are going to be fast asleep. But, people stream late. Most people like to stream late, and I think having, a late stream every now and then is kind of fun, at least to me. And of course, as mentioned, all of these sessions will be 35 minutes long, and just like with the regular season, this I can take a screenshot. I didn't put a question mark accidentally. This will be all the times and dates are subject to change. Now, one of the last things I'll mention, because I've been going on for over an hour. I knew this was gonna be a long stream. Any flight updates to the Final Flight Tour here in 2025 is mostly, to be honest, mostly this stuff is just kind of mostly regurgitating the stuff I said with Triple Winter, but I just want to make everything crystal clear on what this final flight of my plans for NR in the future are. So, as previously mentioned multiple times, 2025 Palm Summer League, I forgot to add League, is my final NR series. I'm done after PSL. I am not doing any more NR series. I am done. I'm done after PSL this year with NR series. Also, this has been my final series as a PSL, as an NR driver. I tried to sign up for Triple Winter, but I felt bad for taking up one of the spots, so I gave spots to someone. But I will be signing up also as a driver for PSL. Just also mark my final series in NR in general, as a driver at least. GSS bonus schemes, I know I keep throwing this out there for the last 2 years. I hope to have these bonus schemes done before the grand finale. They're long overdue, and I think it's kind of fitting to release them during the grand finale. I'll still be active on Discord, also here on YouTube, and my other socials, and in the NR community in a much smaller role. I'm a team owner in multiple other NR series. So, well, multiple meaning 2, but I'm a team owner in 2 NR series, and I'll probably just stick to that as opposed to being a driver. Now, where I do NR content in the future after PSL, I have no idea. I have literally no idea if I'm going to do NR content in the future. I've said I am open-minded to NR stuff in the future, but I have no idea I'll do if I'm actually going to do it. But I will say this: no more series again after 2025. Again, this is my final series. I am done with series after PSL this year. And it's not going to be also NR content for the remainder, at least the remainder of 2025 after PSL concludes. As I've been making content in this game for the last 5 years, I need a break from this stuff. I need at least some type of break. I was going to have a break after Golf Summer Series, but that didn't happen, obviously. And I went straight into PSL. So I've been basically on the NR train nonstop for the last 5 years. I need some time away from this game. I need to, I love this game. I love this community. Don't get me wrong, but I need some time away after PSL ends. Now, I do also hope to have special festivities and videos made for the final flight, kind of similar to the 100th race we had. I was going to try doing more for the 100th race. I mean, I did like 2 videos, like some shorts, but I'm going to try having more special stuff for the final flight, because this is, again, final NR series. I want to celebrate the fact that we've had so many great memories together while making these videos. And also stats and for all my NR series will eventually be archived on a Google site /forum. Thankfully, since this is the final series I have to worry about, I have to constantly update, because I was working on an archive of like all the stats and everything. It was up until Triple Winter last year, but I was like, and I saved spaces for, okay, I'll save this for PSL, but I never got to it. So that forum's been kind of, vacant, but thankfully with a series ending, I don't have to constantly update the forum. I can just leave the forum as is for the rest of the time. Same thing with the Google site as well. Alright, so that will do it. I'm going to stay on for a little bit in case anyone has any questions or whatnot. I'll probably stay on for like 5 minutes or so. I don't know. But this is the final stream like this. I also do Showdown. I also do Showdown again, but it really means the fact that I've been doing this for 5 years is crazy. Like I've said this before, but originally when I started golf in 2020, I thought it was just gonna be kind of a one-time thing. I've always wanted to do a series, and that is a loud point. I don't know if y'all hear that. Jeez. Anyways, and then our series was something in my mind for the longest time before I started golf. And I was like, I was thinking to myself, okay, I gotta start one soon. It's now I only have so much more free time left. It's now or never for to start one of these series. And I ended up crafting, and we ended up, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the right words to say this, but it's special. Like these series are very special. This channel is only we only have like 300 subscribers. Like we're not nearly as big as like your Slapshoot, Slapshoot's bigger, but he didn't do NR content. We're not as big as like your Twisted Toes out there, but I really do appreciate all the support we can get. Again, we're not as big as like a Twisted Toe or something, but we have the heart. I think this community has heart, as a soul, and is very loyal no matter what, and that's what I love about our community and when I do these series. Off topic, but if you're going to show games of the Switch 2 Direct, what games do you hope to see? Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, this is obviously off topic, but I'm intrigued by the Switch too because it looks like it's a much needed improvement on the original Switch because the original Switch is like 8 years old. God, 8 years old. The original Switch. That thing came out when I was still in middle school. But the Switch 2 looks really intriguing. I'm hoping. I doubt they're gonna show it in the direct, but I'm hoping the next Animal Crossing gets announced. At least announced. I doubt it's gonna have like a reveal or let alone a release date, but I hope it gets like announced. That's what I hope to see. I know. They also Mario Kart. That's another big one. If they're gonna have Mario Kart at launch, that's huge because that's a system seller. And I wouldn't be surprised if Metroid 4, Metroid Prime 4. I think another Zelda situation is gonna happen with that game where okay, it was announced for the Switch. That was announced like in 2017 when the Switch was like the first year of the Switch's existence, but it got delayed so many times to the point. Oh, it's a similar date to the new console. I think that game is going to be both a launch game on the new Switch 2 and also on the original Switch. So I'm intrigued by the Switch 2. I do hope that, and I do want to see more what I also of course want to see what more of the console, like some of the features, its UI, the price obviously is going to be important, but I'm intrigued by the Switch 2. As for on topic, okay, yeah, as a race that made you think, yeah, I'll stick with this stuff, and it makes. There you go. I'll never do this again. Screw you. That's a good question. That's a really good question. I think the race. For the first question, the race I'll stick with making this stuff was the 2022 golf season opener Armory Digital. Of course, if anyone remembers, that was my final golf summer series, and I was thinking too at the time before that race came out, this probably was my final NR stuff in general because I was the graduating senior at high school at the time. I was looking forward to the future. I was kind of looking at other endeavors and everything, but that race with that close finish, like that was just the tip of the iceberg of the Armory Digital race in 2022. And then I woke up the next morning and throughout the day in school. I'm not the type of person who uses my phone during school. I don't do that, but during like breaks and everything or chances I get. I just look back at the views I got during the Armory Digital race. Like, I think after the first like few hours was like at 300, which is very good. At the time, the channel only got like 50, 60 views per race. 100, 200 is pretty rare, but 300 in the first like not even like 12 hours for that Armory Digital race. I was like, ooh, that's pretty good. And then the numbers just kept going up. 400, 500, 600, 700, 900, 1,000, and then by the end of the following week, 2,000 views. I was like, holy crap! Like, this is insane. This is amazing. And I thought it was just gonna be like a one race only thing. It's just one race. It's a super speedway. It's a season opener. You know, it's an anomaly, right? But no, even though golf had all the delays that year, the ensuing races still had really good views. Vancouver, short tracks almost never do well here except for Bowman Gray. Short tracks never do well on the channel, but Vancouver got good views. Texas World, despite getting delayed, got good views. The Roval got good views. The Roval was never a good performing race, and it just kept going up. And I was like, golf. I'm doing this. This is the best views I've ever gotten on the channel for these races. I still maybe have some more in me. And that's what caused Palm Super League to get, and those triple winner as well to get created. And if that Armory Digital race never happened the way it did, if it never got as many views, if it was never as thrilling of a race it was, I don't think I would be here right now. I think I'd probably be done with NR in general. And that Armory Digital race it means so much to me, and that's why I made it the season opener this year. Now, as for the second part of the question, I'm never doing this stuff again. Screw it. Again, that's such a good question. There's a lot of candidates for one. I'm trying to think of one that's like, oh god, this is ridiculous. It was also ironically during the 2022 season for golf as well, because that season had a lot of growing pains with the delays and everything. Orlando was the one that was frustrating because that got delayed by like a month to the point where I had like no races for like a month on the channel. I think it was like Rockingham was the last race up until that point in September. I didn't upload again until like October because I was working on. It was not like I was not working on the Orlando race, but the Orlando race was just so frustrating because every time I would commentate, I just screw up. I was like, I'd run over my words. And super speedways, when I do those, I have to make sure, okay, I gotta make sure I talk a lot during super speedways because there's always a lot happening during super speedways. And that was like what the hell is, I'm like thinking, what the hell am I doing with this? What the hell am I doing with this? Like, I can't do this. But I go back to the Armory Digital race. It's like, there's still people who like this stuff. There's people, even the views for the GSS after all the delays and everything, there's people who still watch this stuff. Like, people still watch this stuff, and it gives a good sense of community. I'll continue. That's one candidate of a race of that question. And not just a race in general, but another one that goes me like, oh, this is annoying. I need to think about quitting here soon. Was probably honestly pointing for this series pointing for this, probably not just pointing for this, but probably November up until now, from when Triple Winner got delayed due to personal stuff, and then all the pointing I did for this, because I admittedly the last like 36 hours, most of the time I dedicated was to getting this all ready to go. But I really do like that question. That's a good reflective question. I know that was a long answer. I was kind of over the place, but it's like a short-term answer. A race, I was like, I still got more in me. I'll stick with this stuff. That was definitely for that one was the Armory Digital race in 2022, the most viewed race on the channel. And then the two races, I was like, oh, this is bullshit. This is stupid. Was Orlando in golf in 2022 because I kept screwing up the commentary. And honestly, pointing for this. But I really do like that question. Any ideas for the channel post PSL, like content you want to do after PSL is wrapped up? I've been wanting to do like sort of like mini like race reviews for the channel. Like on the server, I have that unpopular opinion. I've been posting unpopular opinions tab for a while, but I do have a lot of hot takes and opinions on stuff when it comes to NASCAR, and I think that provides some decent content because I usually decent content because I have a lot of stuff to say. Like some of the messages on that unpopular opinions tab are very long, very almost essay levels of long, and I have a lot of thoughts on NASCAR and the overall stuff. And also, I've been thinking of like video, like mini documentaries or essays, but at the same time, I've been thinking that's kind of an oversaturated genre. I feel like even for NASCAR, because you have like Ellie and Slap Shoes and all them also making much better stuff than I can possibly make. But even in terms of like outside of NASCAR, I've been thinking about doing like a travel channel because I do want to travel. One of my goals in life is to travel the world. I'd love to I want to travel. There's a lot of places I want to go to, and that includes races. I have a good time making those like race vlog videos with my camera. My Sony cameras. I need to upload those other two, the Charlotte and Atlanta ones. But I have a good time making those because it's like a nice scroll down through memory lane. I think a travel channel, especially one oriented on sports and stuff and more like budget travel instead of just like luxurious travel, could be fun. And also one on like movies because I'm a film major, and I watch a lot of like I don't watch a lot, but I have a lot of thought. There's like NASCAR. I have a lot of thoughts on like movies and TV shows that come out, and also I think doing a weekly recap of like the box office could be fun because I don't think that many people do like weekly recaps of like the box office, at least in the United States box office, and I might touch on the worldwide box office as well because I think it's kind of fun looking through. That's something I've always been interested in like looking at how a movie performs, is it going to make its budget back and stuff like that. And I don't know, I've always found that stuff fascinating. And besides the box office stuff, again, I do have a lot of thoughts on movies and TV shows. Sometimes I watch really good ones. Other times I watch stuff that are total trash. I don't know. I there's a lot of there's some plans I'm thinking of. Or another one I've seen suggested too is like diecast reviews. I have a lot of I collect most NASCAR fans. I collect diecast and everything. I have a lot. I haven't pre-ordered one since I think the last one I pre-ordered was Chastain's Kansas win. I do plan to get more. I do plan to get Elio Castroneves' 91 car, but I I can do. I have a lot of that can probably supply me with stuff for like I've like literally next to me I have a whole wall of Jimmy Johnson diecast, and then another wall of Jimmy diecast, and then I have some Chastain ones as well. So that can supply me with decent stuff for the time being, or even just like tier list as well. There's a lot of ideas I'm thinking of as well, but I want to. The thing is, I want to concentrate on an idea that's like relatively not doesn't take nearly as long for me to make as a PSO or NR race in general, and I can do it on a constant basis, like maybe like once every week or like every other week or something like that. And I can maybe experiment once the summer begins of what I want to do. And especially after PSL ends, that's going to give me a lot more time as well and more flexibility to do certain stuff. But I do have some ideas I've been thinking of on the back of my mind. Just see what I'll stay on here for like a few more minutes. My voice is already kind of screwed up. This is what happens every time after I record a race. My voice is just really shot. That's why I eat like peppermints and stuff and like mint to keep my voice sort of somewhat decent. I actually set the event to end at 3:45. It's 3:37 right now. Yeah, I knew this was gonna go on for a long time. I got nothing else, but I appreciate all the questions, Alpha, and also you're also shout out to our team in Joe Series, Atlanta Motorsports. Those paint schemes turned out fantastic. I know the Clash is what the shootout, the Bud shootout, or case may be, is like next week or this coming weekend, I should say, and he's gonna have the poll stream. Joe's gonna have the poll stream tomorrow night. That's gonna be fun. So I'm excited to start. Just kind of out of topic. I'm excited to start the season with you and everyone else on the team. But yeah, I got nothing else other than apologize for making another weeb shit. That's fine. That's fine. I'll admit I've been getting into some anime and manga recently too. It's all right. We all have our stuff. It's fine. It's fine. No worries. But I do appreciate everyone who is watching right now or is watching this after the fact. And I appreciate all the questions from you, Alpha, as well. And yeah, I guess I'll just do it for me because my voice is shot. I need to eat lunch. I haven't had anything to eat since like my plan is this morning. Okay, woke up, had breakfast, back to bed because I went to bed. I always go to bed late, and got up, gotta wash my face out a little bit, and then did what's it called? I did this. So yeah, and I'll mention too one more thing I mentioned too that I guess is kind of related to like off topic PSL stuff, but I will plan. I know I keep just like with the PSL GSS bonus schemes. I keep mentioning the Atlanta and Charlotte vlogs. I have the Atlanta vlog like basically like those vlogs are basically done. I just need to record like commentary parts of it. I just haven't found the time to do it. Like I just have not found the time to record the commentary portions. Like I got all of the footage arranged and everything. I just need to record commentary portions, especially for Charlotte. I need an explanation. Like, okay, what am I doing this day? What stuff like that. So I just have not found time to do that yet. I do hope to have those before PSL begins. And also I will be going to and I guess the two, I'll mention this too, since it's like a vlog, just travel related. My plan is to go to the Atlanta race coming up here in a few weeks. I already mentioned the Atlanta Summer Weekend. I'm going to try doing both Xfinity and Cup for that. I'm going to try doing both Xfinity and Cup for that and record all of that. And I'll be going to the Southern 500 as well. Because with my fan points, I got that wave the green flag thing with my fan points for qualifying. That'd be kind of cool to document as well. So I do plan to go to the three races this year, the two Atlantas and the Southern 500. And I'm also trying to go to either the MLB All-Star game, which is going to be in Atlanta this summer, or the MLB Bristol game. for the latter, the hotel prices. I mentioned this with PS of Triple Winter in that stream. The hotel prices are crazy. Even like Airbnbs now, that's like up to like $500 for like 2 nights. Like, come on. Yeah. Like, why are I get a big event, but man, I hate dynamic pricing. But also the MLB, and if I'm gonna spend $500 on like a hotel or lodging and like $100 on a ticket, might as well go to the All-Star game at that point where I have to do any traveling. So I might go to at least one of those, or if I don't go to the All-Star game, I always try to like vlog the Battery area around that time, paired on the All-Star game, because it's gonna be similar to what it was when the Super Bowl was in Atlanta several years back, where there's cool stuff to do. You got your activities and stuff like that. It's a live community. I think recording that stuff could be fun. All right, again, my voice is shot. I am starving. I'm thinking, if anyone has any questions for me, or the series, or just in general, be sure to join the server if you haven't already. If you're in the server, that Q&A tab is there if you want to ask me any questions regarding PSL, general IRL stuff, or just stuff post PSL, because I know everyone's gonna have because I know that's gonna be important. That's gonna be an important thing to do. That's gonna be a big topic after the series ends. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone's support. Like I mentioned earlier, we're not the biggest series. We're not as big as the Slap Shoes, and as big as an AG, all of them. But I will say this community has a heart and soul and loyalty that I would never have expected for a channel the size that we are. I really do appreciate every single one of y'all. And I hope we can have one final fun summer together here in the Palm Summer League. And even after NR is done, I really hope I can continue making some type of content in the near future. I don't know what's going to be. I don't know when I'll do it. I don't know what the exact details of the future content after the fact, but I really do appreciate everyone's support over the years here in the NR with these NR series, and I really hope I can deliver the same quality and same storylines and fun that we all have come to expect from these series for the past half decade. One final time, I mentioned the Final Fight announcement that my goal is to provide an emotional and strong conclusion to the series, and that's going to be the goal for me with this summer with this series. So without further ado, with all that being said, I think that'll be a good time to end the stream right now. Thank you guys again for all the support. I'll just put up the schedule one more time. What I just skipped through, that was I didn't mean to skip through that. That was this is the thumbnail, and this is for the future preseason Thunder, but I'll put the schedule back up here again. So this is the schedule. Let me fix the Minnesota while I'm here. All right, so that's the schedule. Once again, I do appreciate, again, I think this would be a good time to end once again. I don't know why I said once again, but you get my point. Thank you guys so much for supporting the series over these years. Thank you to everyone watching, regardless if it's live, regardless if it's pre-recorded, regardless if you're watching this after the fact. And I hope everyone, any inspiring owner and driver, I wish every inspiring owner and driver the best of luck who plans to sign up in the final Palm Summer League. Thank you guys.